you watched our last video, you saw us leaving Catalina Island headed towards Mexico, which is why you might be a little confused to see us sitting aboard Mama Neely's Mason 43 back here in Ventura.
We're here to give you a real-time update on what we've been doing recently and not 10 months ago.
So the last video took place in January of 2023. So we are a bit behind, but you have to keep in mind that Chris and I both have full-time jobs, and that's not even including the boat, which in itself is a full-time job. So YouTube tends to take a bit of the back burner. We didn't want YouTube to take over our lives entirely, so we stuck to our once a month posting schedule. But if you're really curious to see what we're up to in real time, go to our Instagram, go to Facebook, go to our website, where I have spent so much time writing and making sure that our blogs are up to date, which they are now. So if you really want to know what happens next in the story, go to one of those places. You'll get filled in real quick. Since we've been back in California for hurricane season, life has been moving a million miles per minute, which means that our health has started to suffer a little bit because we have prioritized so many other things. But luckily we have good friends like our friend Quincy, who is a certified nutritionist, to help keep us in check. She actually recommended that we start integrating AG1 into our daily routine, which is why we're so stoked that AG1 is a sponsor of this video. We were a bit skeptical of this product at first, but after doing our research and giving it a try, we are stoked to report a boost in energy levels no matter what we are up to. Whether it's sailing on the lake, working at home, or working on the home. With 75 vitamins and minerals, we are getting all we need for the day, plus gut support, which according to Quincy is generally overlooked and very important. The best part is, it tastes kind of like pineapple, which makes us feel connected to the tropics, even when up here at 7,000 foot elevation. If you want to give AG1 a try, use our code available in the description.
Anyways, back to the update. We had an amazing first season in Mexico. We did a lot of miles underneath the keel. The boat performed as we expected, mostly. And there's a ton of stories that are on the upcoming videos that are very fun to watch at our expense, because at the time they weren't so fun, but that is what boat life is. So
there's a lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of sailing, and a lot of DIY. So stay tuned.
To give you a snapshot, in the upcoming videos, we have our sail down the Baja Peninsula on the outside, going from Ensenada to Bahia Santa Maria, and then from Bahia Santa Maria to Cabo. From Cabo, we make the jump to mainland Mexico, where we start right in Chacala and make our way down into the Banderas Bay. We spent about 3 months in the Banderas Bay.
Not by choice.
Not by choice.
Mostly by choice, but not entirely.
Mostly for the tacos and the amazing people, but also because we ran into some engine problems.
All of the problems, actually, that we've had with our engine, even back with the first runaway, fixed it. We figured out the root of the problem, haven't had a problem since, knock on teak.
Yep.
So around May, we started making our way back up into the Sea of Cortez, where we were going to leave Avocet for the summer. We officially hauled out in June. Then Chris's brother drove to Puerto Penasco with our car, so we could load it up with all of the things that we've been collecting over the 5 years we've been living aboard that we haven't thought about and haven't used, and then we drove back to California, and life has been busy ever since.
The first week back in California was a whirlwind. We traded our 41-foot boat for our 21-foot racing boat at 7,000 foot elevation up in the mountains, and we started the High Sierra off. And we had all of our friends that we normally have come up for that event, and we had a great time. Boat performed pretty well, broke a bunch of stuff, but what's new, and made some good memories at the end of it.
Those videos are coming soon, so if you like the DIY and you like small boat stuff, stick around, it's coming. Give us a few months, we'll catch up eventually. But right after the High Sierra Regatta, we left the boat in the slip. We were hoping to come back and sail her more over the summer, but work got in the way, mostly housework of all things. Chris traded in his boat work life for housework life, because over the winter, Mama Neely's house, which is also Chris's childhood home, went through a lot. It
was a historic year in terms of snowfall. And on my mom's house, there's this whole covered deck section that basically started caving in after all this heavy snowfall hit. So it was up to me and my brother to fix this, because sadly, contracting work is so far out up in the mountains that it just wasn't an option to push this until next year. It's currently November, and we just finished up the projects. And when I say we did all of it, we did all of the work from the start to the finish. And that, included the whole gamut, from pouring foundations to building a roof to fiberglassing, of all things, a big deck. So that was where the majority of our time was spent working this summer. Speaking on my mom's house a little bit, that is currently where we live while we're not on the boat.
Thanks, Mom.
Which has been incredibly helpful, obviously, but it spurred us on to the next endeavor, which is finding our own home base.
We're not done cruising either. We just started. But during hurricane season, we want somewhere to come home to that isn't our parents' house. So the house hunt started. And it was a roller coaster, a lot like buying a boat.
Long story short, within the last 3 days, closed on a piece of property with a house and, more importantly, a big shop on it. So the shop is really the key feature of that place because it is allowing us to do all of the projects that we are normally doing on the side of a dock, at a neighbor's friend's house, at, whatever, at our own place. We get to put all of our tools in one spot and have a home base. So that is where we are going to spend our hurricane seasons away from Avocet is at this new, we haven't even found a name for it yet.
I like Run Aground Ranch because it's 5 acres. I know it's not technically a ranch. Run Aground Farm doesn't sound that good, but we're trying to think of names. So if anyone out there has ideas, let us know in the comments. With this giant shop though, Chris has already started thinking of how to reinvent himself. He really loves woodwork. He also knows how to work on the Perkins 4108 very well. He has become the guru of that. So the Perkins 4108 group on Facebook keeps hitting him up for questions and troubleshooting. So he might become a diesel mechanic. He might become a carpenter. Who knows? It's a humble house. We should backtrack.
We'll have videos of it.
We will have videos we will share. It is a very boat-sized house, but again, the potential with the shop and everything else
it is just like amazing. Our boat, meaning that it's old and it needs work, but it has tons of potential. Besides
work, we did manage to squeeze in some fun times over the summer. We mountain biked a whole lot. Anytime we weren't working on the deck or working in general, you could find us at China Peak mountain biking on the weekends and then mountain biking in our backyard on the trails that Southgate Trails built. So that was a really fun way to keep active and do something other than curse at the deck that we kept finding problems in.
Another thing that we did this year that was super fun was going to the East Coast and visiting Marissa's family for about a week and doing the Annapolis Boat Show where we met a lot of people that watch our stuff and follow us. That was a great time.
Yeah, and the Annapolis Boat Show wasn't part of the initial plan when we came home. But
it was a hard no for a while.
Chris said it was a hard no, but after talking to some people like Behan and Pinyasco and a handful of other people, we felt like we really needed to go, if anything, for my business, because it was a good opportunity for me to meet clients and also for me to meet potential clients. So that was the initial draw of the trip. And then our friends, Max and Karen, called us from Mexico and they're like, hey, are you going to the boat show? And we said, yeah, we are. To which they said that they were coming. So then it went from a work trip to a party.
Yep.
And it was a rager. We had so much fun, not only meeting all of the people who follow our content, not only on YouTube, but also my writing, which was so incredible. So if you read my writing, thank you. I love you. You're great. We also got to meet some people that we've been friends with on Instagram for years, like the crew of Jubal.
Even the crew of all of the Choi Lees. We met fellow Choi Lee owners that I've talked to ever since we've had our boat. So that was super fun to get to know those guys too in person. All in all, we have not had 2 seconds to stop moving, but that is no different than how we've lived our life the past 5 years owning Avocet. So we are going back to Avocet soon. In fact, tomorrow I'm driving to Mexico. So I've got about a week worth of work to do. Nothing crazy. I haven't seen the boat in 5 months, so I will have a follow-up interview to this, but the current projects are doing a new fridge, not the installation, just the evaporator and the compressor, and do a bottom job. So those are the 2 projects I'm going down there specifically to do. Our friend Peter on Kessel has graciously allowed me to get in the car with him to drive down. So we're gonna pack up all of our stuff, all of our newfound treasures into his van and go across the border, and I'll come back in about a week. And after that, we'll get back down and enjoying the Sea of Cortez in the way that we should enjoy it, meaning not on a schedule.
Slow.
Yeah. And that's our plan for this upcoming season, is to get back to the boat in the first week of January and then get back to mainland Mexico. And we don't really have any idea whether or not we're going to go further south.
We do know exactly where we're going to go in mainland Mexico. We're going to go to our friend's new bar, Lusty on Land. I'm going to plug them because I love them. And you guys will know who Max and Karen are so soon. If you guys watching are in La Cruz del Guanacaxtli, Mexico, which is in Banderas Bay, go to Lusty on Land, tell them that Sailing Avocet sent you, and ask for Max and Karen, and make it weird.
They'll be there.
Very excited to make it back to mainland Mexico. Obviously also excited to explore the Sea of Cortez. We should have a good group of buddy boats with us this year. We have Kessel, we have Amua, Ayala, we have a few more. So if you see us in the Sea of Cortez, come say hello.
That's our real-time update. Thanks for watching. Sorry the videos are so behind, but at the end of the day, we're just super busy and we're trying to get out as much stuff for you guys as possible. Thanks for being understanding.